In the beginning, before we start, please subscribe to the channel and activate the bell button to receive all new arrivals. The second family in ancient Egypt. These pharaohs did not differ from the previous kings in their work. Going to exploit the quarries of Sinai and trying to calm the north was one of their most important deeds. Some traces of their activity were found, but no traces of the tombs of some of the kings of that family were found in Abydos, which suggests that they preferred to live in the northern capital and preferred to build their cemeteries near it. And we see in what those kings left are references to palaces that the kings built after the 4th year of their rule, and temples they set up for various deities, especially the god Sukkar, which is one of the greatest deities of the new capital. We also see from the seals of their employees the steady progress of government organization and the presence of different departments. Hotep Sekemwi. It is a name that may mean the two forces may be Horus and Set, whose powers are represented by the king together on earth, or as her character on earth. Or perhaps he meant the strength of the followers of Horus and Seth. Does this mean that there was a conflict between the two powers over which the new king was eliminated, and perhaps for this same reason Mansion started a new family? The tomb of Hetep Sakmi has not been discovered yet. He ruled according to the history of Monotone 38 years. During his reign, a split occurred in the land near the city of Tal Basta, and it swallowed up a large number of people. Ra-Neb. His name means, and it is the first known royal name that explicitly recognized the sun god Ra. His name was found on a rock in the oases of the Libyan desert and near Armant, and seals bearing his name were found near the pyramid of Unis. This was the first time that the name of the sun god Ra appeared in the names of kings, and it seems that this ruling announces the beginning of the importance of sun worship, a significance that will increase after that until the 5th dynasty. It is possible that Hetep Sakmoy and Nab Ra were buried in the Sukkar cemetery. There are clear evidences confirming that the Palermo stone, dated from the 5th dynasty, preserved the names of many kings who ruled before Narmer or Mina and before or after the unification of the country. The clerks must have had samples of old proprietary lists. Nawi trade. His name was read by two other readings, which are Nathran and Entheramo, meaning who belongs to God and descended from God, and the god our Lord here may be Osiris. Or, meaning he referred to his holding some feasts and taking a census, and then civil wars took place in the north in the 13th year of his reign. He had found a small marble statue representing him sitting on the throne. 4 King Wang. Relics attributed to his reign are rare and we do not know much about him. 5 The King Senj, or Sindhi. A bronze statue bearing his name was found, dating back to the 26th dynasty. Kasekem was Ka Sakam, meaning, and he ruled for 48 years. It seems that there has been a revolution against the worship of the idol Horus, the god of the north, in the era of the king, Bar Ibb Sen, and people have begun to worship the god Six, the god of the south, where his original home, which prompted Sekim Ib to leave Memphis and go to Upper Egypt. However, the political motives that led to changing the name of the Horite king Sekem Ibb, his abdication of loyalty to the god Horus and the transfer of his allegiance to the god Sit Holy Ambos instead of Horus, the falcon, whose first name was above Sekim Ibb. And perhaps the reason is the increase in the power of the followers of god Sit, which made the king switch to the worship of the god Six to keep his throne, which lasted for 17 years as stated in the history of the mansion, and his tomb, symbolized by a letter P in Abydos. A cylindrical seal was found in Shaunat al-Zabib with his name al-Hawari written on it, and Lauer saw that had been expelled at the end of the matter. The legitimate right to the throne, Ka Sakim. Ka Sakam and Ka Sakmwi worked on eliminating sedition and disciplining the conspirators from among the inhabitants of Lower Egypt, and he achieved calm and stability in the country. And Ka Sakam returned to the worship of the idol Horus. He found a statue of him from the schist in the city of Nakan, the capital of the ancient worshippers of Horus. And it is now in the Egyptian Museum and pictures on he bases some of the corpses of the enemies and tells us the inscriptions. This victory was his in his killing of more than 40,000 men from the people of the north, and another statue was found in the same city in the Oxford Museum now. 7. The king, Hetep, prophetically AMF, *** Horus and Sest *** Ka Sakmi. Meaning the power of the god Horus and the power of the god Six, and he ruled for 30 years. And it seems that he tried to end the conflict between the followers of the god Horus and the followers of the god Six, so his name was placed in the Serach. Topped by two images of the gods Horus and Six side by side. And it seems that he married one of the princesses of the north. She is the queen, Nime-Adhab, and her name was found on relics from Abydos with the title founder of the third dynasty, and attributed to King Ka Sakmoy, the huge cemetery symbolized by the letter V in Abydos. The era of was characterized by peace and tranquility, and he worked to achieve peace and tranquility throughout the country and to consolidate its unity. He built a temple in the city of his ancestors. In the center is constructed of limestone, and the excavations that took place in this cemetery revealed the remains of royal symbols, stone and pottery vessels. And his name was found in the remains of the Temple of the Cape and on a stone piece found in the city of Byblos. The African states that King Ka Sakmoy was distinguished by his tallness, and as we mentioned, it seems that Hetep Sakmoy and Nab Ra were buried in the Sukkar cemetery, while the rest of the kings of the second family were buried, like their predecessors, in the cemetery of Abydos. Thus, the second family continued for more than 2.5 centuries. Two large buildings of milk from the era of the second dynasty are still standing in Abydos. One of them called Shuna al-Zebib, and each of them was in what appears to be a temporary palace where the king would descend while he was participating in the religious ceremonies of the Abydos temple. In the end, we thank you for the good follow-up, and we promise you more.